Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, and I'm reading an article titled Terrorist Attack in quotation marks at St. Petersburg Station, and it's in quotation marks because that's, there's there's no real way of saying whether it was a legitimate terrorist attack that was not associated with the government. So this was from Press TV, February 2nd, 2010, and they've had actually I believe in Russia they've had a couple incidences already with trains blowing up. Um, let's see here. Russian officials say a train operator has suffered a leg injury after a bomb exploded under a railway technical inspector's engine in St. Petersburg. The engine used to inspect and repair line side equipment was running without any carriages. Authorities have started investigating the Tuesday's blast, which occurred at 14:15 local time, as a terrorist attack. Quote, "We consider it a terrorist attack. That's the main theory," Interfax news agency reported, quoting Anatoly Kvashnin, the head of the regional investigative department for transport systems. Uh, Kvashnin did not elaborate on whether authorities were looking at any possible suspects. The latest incident may reignite fears of attacks on Russia's railways. So yes, I was correct. There was one. Earlier this year, RIA Novosti news agency reported that an explosion had ripped through a cargo train in the Russian Republic of Ingushetia, leaving no injuries. The deadliest attack, however, occurred in late November when a bomb killed 26 commuters on a train en route to St. Petersburg from Moscow. Days later, another blast hit a passenger train in the troubled southern Republic of Daghestan, but no injuries were reported. I really don't have much to say as far as this particular quote terrorist attack, but I was just talking to a good buddy of mine, talking about the New World Order, but mostly talking about the uh, the buildup of warships in Yemen in the Gulf of Aden, uh, and what the real purpose of it was, which I believe has nothing to do with piracy, stopping piracy, or Al Qaeda in Yemen. Um, honestly, I don't believe the Russians and the Chinese needed to create the first ever. They call it the Sino-Russian uh, naval task force fleet, and you can go on the Chinese website itself, and you can see pictures of the Russians and Chinese standing side by side. And so, just I'm not going to talk for another 7 minutes. 7 minutes. I just wanted to try to relate this to this conversation I had yesterday, because false flag terrorism is a big deal in 2010. I've been talking about it. I've been saying that this is the year of not terrorism, but false flag government-sponsored terrorism, because the New World Order, the Illuminati, the establishment, the scientific elite, whatever you want to call them, they need to get their agenda pushed forward, and they don't have the patience or the time to keep messing around. But at the same time, they can't just carry out false flag terrorist attack after false flag government sponsored terrorist attack, because then it starts to discredit the terrorist attack itself, and people will get burnt out on it. And they know this. They know that if they keep carrying out false flag terrorist attacks, people will just won't be in fear anymore, right? You would think that the more you do, the more fear you get, but it's kind of an amazing thing that the human mind and the human psyche has, where when the shit hits the fan, we're ready to roll, and in a sense, because they can only do so much of this crap, right? Where we're not going to be in fear anymore. We're not going to be living in fear, because we're going to realize eventually that either A, this is our own government carrying out terrorist attacks against ourselves, whether it's Russia, whether it's China, whether it's the UK or the United States or anywhere else in this planet, or B, that if it is a real terrorist attack, well then, if they're going to keep doing it, you can't, I mean, we can only get so scared. We can only be like, oh yeah, take away this liberty and take away this liberty and take away my privacy and take away this and I want to be safe. I want to be a safe. And there's always going to be people that think they're going to be safe if they allow the government to protect them. But to be honest with you, if there was a real legitimate terrorist that really wanted to steal your freedom, think about it. The terrorists win. If you give up your freedoms and your privacy to the government in order to protect you against some kind of, quote, terrorist, right? Well, then you lose and the terrorists win. Because the whole goal of a terrorist is to instill fear and to change your way of life. That's it. And to drain your financial resources. They've drained our financial resources in the United States. And they have changed our way of life because we've given up all of our liberties, all of our privacy in the name of preventing these terrorist attacks and allowing the government to protect us. And, it builds up fear. And like I said, but, that's the one thing we got on our side, people, is that we can only take so much fear. And we will get burnt out on it and we just won't care anymore. So, and I'm kind of starting to see that with videos in the news about these passengers who are like, you know what, I'm going to keep traveling. I don't give a shit. Whatever. I'll just have a few cocktails. If the plane's going down, and, take it down, baby. I don't care what your beliefs are. I believe there's more than one life here. I believe in reincarnation. I believe in an afterlife. And so, I'm not scared, man. I am not scared. So I just say bring it, If that's what they have to do to push forward their stupid little world government agenda to crack down because their asses have had a hard time fooling the public because they're waking up to their stupid criminal activity, well then so be it. Bring it, And, I just joked about it yesterday to my friend, getting back to that was that you'll see Russia. I was like, I don't know what Russia's going to do, but, they have to have reasons to be sending ships down to Yemen and whatnot. And, whatever, they'll blame piracy or whatever, but it's going on in all the major superpowers or major countries right now. They all need to crack down in unison. It's all the same agenda, which is to enslave you. So please, if you can take anything away from this video, besides just this whatever terrorist attack on this train in Russia, is that just keep your eyes open and just look for who gains from these attacks. What happens? What liberties are lost? How much money is lost? How much freedom is lost? How much privacy is lost? And how has your life changed? Because if you go along with what the government wants you to do, well, then the terrorists win. Whether it's the government that are the terrorists and carrying out attacks, whether it's real legitimate militias carrying out attacks against the government. But I would say this: most legitimate people that are militias don't harm innocent civilians. They do what they need to do, and I'm not condoning attacking the government, and I'm not condoning any of that. That there'll be a time for that, but it's not right now. Our time right now, the purpose of right now is we have an opportunity to peacefully resist and peacefully spread the word, because, like I said, we'll just send their agenda back another decade and another decade and another decade until eventually everybody's woken up and they realize that it is a possibility that the government can carry out attacks against their own people in order to further their own agenda. So thank you everybody for listening to this video, and please spread the word to all your family, friends, and just people on the street that you hear talking about whatever crap it is that they hear on TV and all the disinformation. Just let them know. Tell them. Don't be scared. Tell them. Be like, your government's carried out terrorist attacks before in the Gulf of Tonkin, and remember the Maine and December 7th, 1941. So, it's not the first time. And the Oklahoma City bombing, 9/11, they have a record. They're on record. You just have to do your research, have confidence, and tell them. And start awaking your fellow man, because that's the only way we're going to do this. That's the only way we're going to be able to fight these people. Thank you.